Today I'm going to talk to you about what you need to know about relocating to South Florida, and I'm going to get started now. Hey everyone, my name is Jamey Prezzi. I'm a real estate agent in Miami-Dade and Broward counties. I work with my husband Ognjen Prezzi and our team. Today I'm going to talk to you about what you need to know about relocating to South Florida, especially if you're thinking about buying real estate in our area. There's so much to know. But first, before I get started, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another update. We do put out new videos every week. Also, use the link in our information box and download our free relocation guide. That guide page is a lot. There's a lot of information there. There's also really good timelines. We get a lot of good feedback about that guide, so make sure that you use it. And I'll also add you to our weekly newsletter. Okay, let's get started. Sometimes when people are thinking about relocating to South Florida, they don't really realize how big South Florida really is. For example, sometimes people will say, I'm trying to decide between Miami-Dade and Broward, or maybe Naples or Tampa, or, West Palm Beach. Well, these are big counties. Two of them are on the West Coast, the rest are on the East Coast, and there's just a lot to know about South Florida. Specifically today, I'm talking about Miami-Dade and Broward because those are the two counties where we specialize. But there's just a lot to know about relocating here and kind of what to expect. We have a lot of different issues than some other parts of the United States. I'm sure, for example, I'm from South Carolina. We have different issues there when it comes to buying real estate and different things that you want to pay attention to. Here we have, different nuances that's really important to know, and it's really important to make sure that you use a professional to help guide you through the process because you don't want to miss something important. The first thing you'll want to do is determine the budget for this property. And I don't mean just the budget for actually the purchase price. I'm also referring to the budget if you need financing for the closing costs and the down payments. And also just the overall cost to purchase that property, whatever else that includes. And another thing is the actual monthly cost to own that property every single month and every single year. Maybe you are purchasing a property that's going to be in a condominium association, so you need to budget in for those monthly condo association fees. And also don't forget, those fees will probably go up, so just keep that in mind. Also, if you're buying in an HOA community, the cost of the HOA fees. And let's not forget the cost of insurance, because insurance here can be pricey depending on where you are planning to buy. Overall, the cost of insurance can really vary based on property type and also based on the location of the property. So setting a budget allows us to better serve you because then we can start looking for properties that match that budget. And not only, again, just the cost of that property, but also in relation to the potential cost of insurance and other details that we need to calculate into the owning that property every single month and every single year. So I like to start from the budget, and then from there we can start, free flowing a little bit more on the property type. The next thing that I always talk about, and it was probably in the video I did last week, and that is if you are planning to buy real estate here on your relocation move, then you really need to understand how you're planning to pay. If you're paying cash, that's one obvious great way to buy. But if you need financing, we really have to go into a lot of details for this purchase because there's a lot to know about purchasing with financing when it comes to single family homes and the condition of the property and insurance. And if you are buying a condominium with financing, we really have to dive into a lot more details because there's so much to know about buying a condominium here with financing in terms of down payment, the association, is the building eligible, and more. So just know that that's one detailed discussion that we have to have at a buyer strategy session. And you really need to plan for that carefully because you can spend a lot of time and wasted time, and you can actually even lose a deposit if you don't know what you're doing. The next thing you'll want to do is you really need to understand where you're going to be living and working and doing all your daily activities. Do you have kids in sports? Do you have kids in a specific school? Where are these activities happening every single day, before school, after school, or if you don't have kids, what are your activities? Are you going to commute into work every day? Are you working from home? Do you need a home office? So from there, we can really start talking about those details. because I will tell you the traffic here can be a bit tedious. Well, not a bit. It's a lot tedious. I talk to people all the time who are relocating here from even different parts of Miami-Dade and Broward, just because the commute has become so tedious they can't deal with it anymore, and they need to relocate for some other activity in their life, and it's just more important for them to be closer to that than to be in the home that they're currently in. If you have kids in school and you're planning on relocating and placing them in a school here, you really need to call in advance and make sure that you do your research in advance to make sure that they have space. A lot of the schools here have wait lists. Many schools here have lottery systems to get into them, and there's just a lot to know about schools. So if you have kids and you're relocating here, definitely do the school search in advance so that you're not caught off guard when you actually relocate here. The next thing that's really important to pay attention to is the property taxes. Now, I always talk about this because a lot of times, I think it's different in other parts of the United States, but a lot of times people will say to me, oh, the property taxes on that property are really low. What you need to know about property taxes is those taxes that are listed with the property right now, those will not be your property taxes. They will be your property taxes for maybe a specific time that you're owning the property, but going forward at some point in time, those property taxes will reset, and they will reset based on different factors. I don't want to go into all the details there, but the biggest thing to know is there is a very good chance in many instances where you're buying the property taxes and they are one amount now, but after you purchase the property, they will reset. You can Google property taxes in Miami-Dade and Broward, and they have a really good online calculators where you can enter your scenario to see what the property taxes may be for you as the new owner of the property. But do not rely on the current owner's property taxes as a way to guesstimate what your taxes may be. I'm getting this question a lot lately because I have people who are relocating here and they may not want the obligation of a single family home, but they're also not crazy about living in a high rise, maybe a big condominium. So if you are thinking about buying a townhome, which is kind of a mix of both of those, there's a lot to know about this purchase. For example, if it is a true townhome property, it's on its own as a townhome, the bulk of the insurance will be your responsibility because it's not part of, the main association like a condominium association. And you'll probably have some type of monthly HOA fee for maintaining the grounds, the landscaping, the amenities, stuff like that. But you need to know that you're pretty much on your own when it comes to maybe, for example, the roof and obviously the bulk of your insurance. Whereas if you're buying a townhome that it looks like a townhome, it's the style of a townhome, but it's in a condominium association, and you can tell this by looking at the legal description, it'll have the word condo in it. You need to know that the purchase will be treated like a condominium purchase, especially when it comes to financing, and you need to ask more details about the insurance and how that's handled, and then also who is responsible for what when it comes to the actual systems in the home. There's just a lot to know about a townhome purchase, but these are some things that I'd like to talk about from the beginning. All right, so I think that answers some really good questions today that I've had recently about relocating to our area and purchasing real estate. If you have more questions, I'm always here to be a resource for you. My name is Jamey Prezzi. This is my husband, Ognjen Prezzi. We put out new videos every week. And again, if you have questions, message me and let me answer those questions for you. And I'm happy to do a video about it too. Okay, that's it. We'll see you soon.